Hello, this is John Golden and Tanya. Hi. We're here to talk about what your spouse wishes you knew and give insights for a stronger marriage. So imagine you're deep in a heated argument with your spouse. That's never happened.
No,
Of course
never.
not. Yes, it has. The air is thick with tension. It feels like there's a widening gulf between you. You're speaking, but the words don't seem to bridge the gap. And this is the scenario a lot of couples face, right? So you're standing at a crossroads in your marriage. You're not able to really connect with each other. You're speaking different languages. It's a hard place to be.
Today, we're embarking on a journey to transform your marriage from the inside out. We're diving to understand your spouse's perspective, a key to strengthening your bond in ways you might not have imagined. So sit back and let's learn what your spouse wishes you knew, insights for a stronger marriage.
So one of the things that we'll say is just a common misstep is assuming we know what our spouse needs without asking, or how they think without
Right.
asking. This is very common. We try to show love in ways that make sense to us, but what if they're interpreted differently by our spouse? This discrepancy is where emotional intimacy can begin to kind of fray at the edges.
Yes. The truth is, men and women often see the world through vastly different lenses. Without understanding these differences, it's easy for misinterpretations to escalate and needless arguments and stress, chipping away at the foundation of our marriage.
Many couples, including those we've worked with in our 90-day marriage God's Way program, express feeling like they're the only ones struggling to find common ground. But these challenges are far more common than you'd think. I remember feeling awkward about addressing certain issues with Tanya, such as visual distractions that men face oftentimes. And this became very relevant when we were hiring a tutor, young ladies that would come and tutor our daughter. And sometimes the way they would dress, I found inappropriate, and yet I felt awkward to talk to Tanya about it because maybe she's going to think there's something wrong with me. And there's different ways people react. And so it required a delicate conversation about ensuring the modest dress code in our home. And it was an issue that maybe Tanya didn't see because she thinks differently. It's not an issue for her. It's like they weren't dressed terribly, or we wouldn't have even been considering them. They were nice Christian ladies. And so it's just a matter of really talking through and being able to open up and bridge that gap.
Navigating these differences was made easier through insightful resources that helped us understand one another's perspective better. Books like For Men Only by Shante Feldhahn were invaluable in fostering this deep connection.
They really lay out good material, not only to help you understand the other perspective, but to help you engage in a deeper conversation with your spouse about it. Because even if everything they found and shared doesn't apply to you, it's great to explore that with your spouse and talk through it. So I'm going to talk about for women only, understanding men, and then Tanya will cover the other side of the equation. Really, it opens a window into understanding that men really want. They want to understand. Sometimes men crave respect. Sometimes they fear being inadequate or being perceived as inadequate. In this book, it discusses men's internal battles and emphasizes the importance of understanding and addressing these concerns compassionately. So, some of the top points that they cover, you think about our surface understanding, and then what does it really mean? Surface understanding, men need respect. What does it really mean? Well, men would often rather feel unloved than feel inadequate and disrespected. And that's a challenge. It's hard for some people to get their mind around. But largely, that was found to be true through quite a few surveys that they did, thousands of people. Surface understanding may be perceived to be insecure. And what does this mean in practice? Despite their in control exterior, men often feel like they're insecure and that somehow their wife's going to find out about their inadequacies, and that makes them feel uncomfortable. They need to be reassured. Surface understanding, you think about a lot of couples when they're maybe having some heated conversations or struggles, men can be perceived as avoiding issues by checking out or getting silent or walking away. Truthfully, a deeper level is that men often will address issues by first pulling away so they can process the information, and they want to better talk about it later. Sometimes that's where the breakdown happens, is they don't come back to talk about it later. But being able to pull back and think about it and process it can often help. I'll know from my perspective, could help me not say something that's very hurtful and unproductive, because I need some space to process what's going on and answer in a positive way. So another common surface understanding, men are providers. Well, here's what you go at a level deeper. Even if the wife personally made enough income to support the family's lifestyle, To most men, it wouldn't really make a difference on the mental burden they feel to provide. Most men still struggle with, I should be providing. You can debate whether that should be the case, but that, based on these surveys, it just is the case. And that's where we're coming from. Another one, the surface understanding, men want more sex from their wives. And if you go deeper than that, the wife's sexual desire for her husband profoundly affects his sense of well-being and confidence in other areas of his life as well. And that can surprise women sometimes, but it really affects him beyond just the sex itself. Another surface understanding, men are visual. We've heard about that. Men react visually to sexual temptation or sexual things from their wife. But what it means in practice, men are going to struggle with being pulled towards live or recollected images of other women, even if they're happily married. And it's not about you. They're being drawn to it. It gets their attention, and they need to learn how to put that away and turn away from it. Another one, on the surface, men are unromantic. But if you go deeper, actually most men enjoy romance, sometimes in different ways than women, and they want to be romantic, but they hesitate because they doubt they can succeed. And the last one I'm going to talk about is men care about appearance. Again, they're visual, they care about appearance. But here's the thing, ladies, you don't have to be a size 3. It really does mean a lot to your husband to see that you're making an effort to take care of yourself. And most men will take on significant cost or inconvenience to support you in this. Hopefully that helps shed a little insight. I know we can always go deeper, and we do in our program. But now I'll turn it over to Tanya for the next part.
So similarly, the men only illuminates the often complex emotional world of women. We are emotional, highlighting their need for love and security. It's a guide for men to better understand their wives, laying the groundwork for a more loving and empathetic relationship. So first of all, a woman, she needs to feel loved. That's important for women. Even if your relationship is great, your mate likely has a fundamental insecurity about your love. When that insecurity is triggered, it may respond in ways that confuse or upset you until she feels reassured. That she needs that feeling of knowing that she's loved, no matter what. Women are emotional. My goodness. Wow, I can relate to that one. So much more emotional than men. So women deal with multiple thoughts and emotions from their past and present all at the same time, and they can't be easily dismissed. It's just the way we're wired.
You ever, as a guy, you ever say, hey, just don't think about that? It doesn't work that way.
Easier said than done. It's impossible to figure out. It may seem that way at times, right, to men.
But there's usually a reason.
Right. So there is usually a logical reason behind her baffling words or actions, and behavior that confuses or frustrates you often signals a need, which is asking for you to meet. Yeah. So just bear with them, right?
You got it. And that's what a lot of our journey is with the couples we work with, is really helping them to connect and understand each other on a better basis, a deeper basis, so they can bridge that gap.
So women want security, in other words, financial security. So your woman needs emotional security and closeness with you so much that she will endure financial insecurity to get it.
So when you go below the surface, it's quite different.
Right. Very different than a man. She doesn't want you to fix it. She just wants you to listen.
This is really painful for a lot of men, including me.
Yes.
Why are you telling me if you don't want me to fix it?
Right. Sometimes we just want a hug. So
I'll give you the hug.
Thank you. So when she's sharing an emotional problem, her feelings and her desire to be heard are much more important than the problem itself. So sometimes just a listening ear and a gentle hug just means the world, because sometimes there is no answer except to give it to the Lord, right? She doesn't want sex as much, but which means that
this is the perception that we have, our
right,
surface understanding.
Yeah. Right, which means she must not want me. Well, physically, women tend to crave sex less often than men do, but it's usually not related to desirability. It's just we're different. Yeah. We just don't need it as much. She wants to look attractive. So for a woman, inside your smart, secure wife lies a little girl who deeply needs to know that you find her beautiful and that you only have eyes for her. And I think that's just a deep-rooted thing that women have. This is from being a little girl. This is studies done. It's important for them.
And so it's through an open dialogue about these insights that we can peel away the layers of misunderstanding. Inviting your spouse into these discussions can really transform your relationship, leading to a deeper intimacy and understanding.
We invite you to take this journey together. Discuss the insights from these books with an open heart. This step towards understanding each other more deeply is key to a fulfilling relationship.
If you want to explore how you can apply these insights more effectively in your marriage, you can visit our website, learn more about our Marriage God's Way 90-day program, and you can book a call to discuss your specific situation with us. And that's solidrockmarriagerestoration.com.
And for ongoing support, join our free Facebook group or dive into our YouTube channel where we have over 50 videos dedicated to strengthening your marriage. These resources are designed to support you every step of the way on your marital journey.
So thank you for joining us. Remember, understanding your spouse deeply is a journey. It can transform your marriage into a love supporting partnership you both deserve and what God wants for you. So together, we're here. If you're interested, we can embark on this beautiful journey together of love and understanding. May the grace and peace of our Lord God be with you. Have a great day.